Hey, folks, welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe Podcast. I am your host, Vince, the Evil Dungeon Master, and today we're back with another episode. It is Thursday, and we're back with the early morning episode. Yesterday, I had some personal issues to take care of, thus, the podcast came out late. Those have been handled, and everything is good in the family. So, back to what's normal. Ask the DM at theevildm.com. It's my email address. You can hit me up on Twitter if you want to give me ideas for the podcast as well. It'd be nice to eventually get a co-host to do these things. So if you're interested in co-hosting for once in a while episodes for AD&D, I'd love to bring on a guest and we can talk about it. So if you're interested, let me know. Go to theevildm.com if you want to sign up for my website stuff, blah, 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 blah. Commercial out of the way. Here we go. Flip open the Dungeon Master's Guide today, and we're going to flip to page 168. We're going to talk about a magic item. It's called the Arrow of Slaying. It is a +3 arrow with some unusual characteristics, a shaft of some special material, feathers of some rare creature, a head of a strange design, a rune carved on the nock, which will distinguish it as it fell against some type of creature. If the arrow is employed against the kind of creature it has been enchanted to slay, the missile will kill it instantly if it hits the target creature. The following list compromises only portions of the possible kinds of these arrows. And it gives you an example how to develop your own arrows. Now, there's no notion or word here. So, first, before I go over the rest of it, there's no notion or anything saying about a saving throw. No saving throw whatsoever. Arrow of Slaying, boom, drops. No saving throw. So, if this is something that you're giving out for your campaign, be careful when you give these out and don't hand out a lot of these because these arrows are no joke. With a +3, but you can make these as specific as you want. Now, they give you a little list here of arachnids, avians, bards, clerics, demons, devils, dragons, druids, elementals, fighters, giants, golems, illusionists, Kirin, magic users, mammals, monks, paladins, rangers, reptiles, sea monsters, thieves, titans, and undead, though I wouldn't really give out undead carte blanche like that. These are just some examples that you can do. Customizing it would be a lot easier to do for your campaign. I would actually narrow it down. Now, in my campaign, when I gave out arrows of slaying, I would give out maybe 1 or 2 at a time because you don't want player characters running around with these arrows of slaying, especially if you're going to make them very broad, like these categories here. Now, it'd be fun to have like an arachnid one, and every time you run into a giant spider or something, boom, dead in one shot if you actually hit it and penetrate the armor class. So you may want to narrow it down to a specific type of spider. Maybe the arrow of slaying could be your MacGuffin for the campaign when it comes to the bad guy. Maybe this arrow is meant specifically for him. And the arrow slaying, you have to go quest and find it. Now, my arrows of slaying always had like a red and black fletchling on the actual arrow itself, so you knew in my campaign when it was an arrow slaying. There was different ways, like the ruin. You can definitely give away what it is if it's a magic user that can read it. That's another possibility for how you can use it in the campaign. You can customize it to be, just to tackle an illusionist gnome, a magic user who's human. Notice that they don't list the class in here that I'm noticing is assassin. So if you're an assassin, you're fine because because the arrow slaying is used by assassins, probably. I don't know, but what about since it's here? It's listed in talking about different things and everything. What about elves and they have humans here? You could be a human. Well, what if you're half creature? Half elf or something like that. Would you instantly be slain because you're half elf and the arrow is made for elves? No. What I would do in my game if you were a half elf and you were hit by one of these arrows, I would definitely give what happens is the elven side would be affected, but you wouldn't die. You'd lose something like half your total hit points permanently, or depending, half your current constitution. Yeah, pretty drastic, but your character's still alive, and that's how the arrow works. There are different ways you can do, like you can make like the ultimate arrow of slaying. Maybe that it prevents you from doing a raise dead or resurrection spell or something, or reincarnation, so that the the NPC and or character cannot come back. It's one of those things. Other ways I was thinking about using it were, let's see here. You introduce a single arrow of slaying, and so you can do, like I said, you can get them to kill a powerful sage. They must decide whether to aid the NPC who wants to do this or not do it, because it's kind of like, maybe take the arrow for yourself. Let's see, the party's in the middle of the forest and they stumble upon this secret stash of arrows of slaying, and they quickly realize that the arrows are meant to kill one of them. Like they see some type of like sketch on the wall and it resembles what they look like. They find like a journal and it talks about various places that this person's been following them, keeping tabs on them, and they had to figure out why they're being targeted. They don't know why, they just found this journal of all this information. Kind of like in modern day, if you're running a campaign and you find about a serial killer and he has all those pictures on the wall and he has notes of what the person's doing all day long, but you don't really know why this person's been targeted. So you have that as a campaign plot. So you never know. And then you can do like, because people love the short story I did yesterday. So let's just say, as the party trekked through the dense forest, the mood was unusually tense. A soft breeze rustled the leaves, but the true danger lay ahead. They heard rumors of a legendary warrior once betrayed, who now stalked these woods with a single arrow of slaying. The players moved cautiously, knowing one misstep could spell disaster. Suddenly, a flash of movement. An arrow cuts through the air, aimed directly at the rogue who had been scouting ahead. With wide eyes, they see the distinctive black and red fletching of the arrow of elf slaying right in the tree. The rogue dove to the ground just in time as the arrow embedded itself into the tree. The warrior emerged from the shadows, bow drawn and a smirk on his face. The players quickly realized that they were dealing with a foe who had nothing to lose and everything to gain from their downfall. There's an introduction for a pretty cool NPC that you would be hunting down. Now, thinking about how powerful this weapon is, arrow slaying, with a +3, okay, it's not that powerful, but the slaying part is the power of this weapon. And what I'm thinking is these would be one and done. And when I'm talking about one and done is you use it, you hit, or you don't hit, it's done. That's the breaks about using these type of arrows, because they're magical arrows. They're very powerful in my opinion, and they need to be sometime like pulled back or curtailed or whatever you want to call it, so that you don't just be blowing the arrows out and just boom 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 done and just pick it up and go kill another one. If you hit the target, good, it's dead. If you miss the target, well, you expel the magic on the arrow slaying, and either it becomes just a regular arrow, or it just becomes an arrow +3. Which, I mean, most players won't be too upset about an arrow +3, but yeah, the arrow slaying part is probably the more interesting part of this entire thing. So, I don't know. You tell me what you do in the comments with the arrow slaying, how you'd use it in your campaign. And how much would you allow with this arrow? Would you allow it to be constant use? Would you roll a percentage to see if it breaks? I mean, it's a magical item. It shouldn't break, but you could say it does when when it hits the target, or if it misses the target. It's up to you. Again, I would one and done. You miss, oh well, too bad. That's just the breaks. That's the type of, and I wouldn't give out too many of them. I wouldn't be like, oh, you found a quiver of them. There's like, I don't know, 400 sitting in a little pouch somewhere. No, that's not going to happen. Maybe 2, 3 of them, so they know that they're special and they have to use it at a special time or something. That's how I'd probably handle it. Tell me what you think about the arrows of slaying. Don't forget to subscribe to the videos, like the videos, support me, buymeacoffee.com/evilDM or ko-fi.com/evilDM, or join the channel for 99 cents a month. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Hopefully, you have a great Thursday. So keep original, keep it old school. Good night. God bless, and keep those AD&D fires lit.